Yo, what's the vibe, guys? Rastul back again with another video. In today's video, as the title suggests, I'm going to be speaking about why I personally, it's my opinion. You can discuss in the comments what you feel like, but it is my opinion as to I'm going to give you my opinion as to why modern day relationships fail. We have marriages that used to last decades in the past, and now you can check the statistics and you can see that nowadays modern day relationships are at an all-time low. The time length of relationships are at an all-time low. Relationships being formed on a whole are at an all-time low. So why is this the case? Why is that happening? I'm going to give my opinion as to why I think modern day relationships fail. I won't beat around the bush. The main idea behind it all is I don't think men put in enough effort to understand women, and I don't think women put in enough effort to understand men. And upon hearing this, as any gender, you're going to feel your feathers ruffled a little bit, but if you're open-minded, you're going to realize there's some truth to that statement already. If you're already open-minded to what I've just said, you're already probably on your way to having a successful relationship yourself. If you're hurt about what I've just said, you probably have had many unsuccessful relationships already, and it's because if that statement ruffled your feathers, it means you're a person that always thinks you're right in the relationship and you have never seen the wrong you've done, which is a big issue. This doesn't have to do with gender now, because many men who watch the Red Pill community and watch Sneak On, for the first 5 to 7 minutes, I'll keep this general about male and females. But in the latter parts of the video, so I want this video to be about 15 minutes. So the first 7 minutes will be general, but the last 7 minutes, I'm going to really hone in on you men. Because men these days ain't shit. And the women say it all the time, but the men don't seem to believe it. They think it's the woman that's shit. And that's true as well. The women ain't shit either. But the men ain't shit as well. And the reason our women ain't shit is mostly because the men ain't shit. Men are as we know, men have been the leaders of society. The patriarchy at some point did exist. That's why feminism became a thing. It doesn't exist now. The patriarchy no longer exists. Feminism is no longer doesn't need to be pushed as much as other rights and movements that need to be pushed. However, they exist for reasons. It used to exist. And if we were the leaders of society, for us to now be in a situation where society is failing, it is the leaders' fault. It is our fault as men, and we like to tell women they take no accountability, but as men, we take little accountability ourselves. We don't, as men, we have to take some level of accountability, but we try our best to try and show away as much accountability as we can because our women aren't taking accountability. Is that what a leader does? Is that what men are meant to do? Because our women aren't doing it, because our women are doing bullshit, we're gonna bullshit as well. Come on, that's not what real men really do. And I know there's gonna be some guy in the comment upset and like, oh, you're a simp, you're pandering for these women. He's already on his keyboard right now in my comments saying, oh, our women, you're defending these women for being demons and succubus and blah blah blah. No, I'm not defending them. I'm not defending men, but what I will be is hard on you men. Because as men, we're meant to be doing better. If you really believe in the red pill and what it means to be an alpha male, then you should know within yourself, deep within, that regardless of how crap the majority of women are, if you want a high quality woman, you have to be a high quality man. And if you're not getting high quality women, it means you're just not a high quality man. And that doesn't have to do with your money. It doesn't have to do, of course money is involved. Of course, all aspects of your life become involved. However, your mental state is going to be the most important part of this. How there was this guy telling me, and I won't even get into this, but let's keep this general anyways. So let's go into the statement of men don't understand women and women don't understand men. Let's delve a bit deeper for a few minutes on that statement in general, yeah? What is it that women don't understand about men? Well, women don't really know what men are attracted to. And you can find examples of this all over YouTube.com at this point in time. But women believe that, well, let me not say, I said women believe, but let me not say, when I say it that way, a lot of people are going to be in the comments saying, not all women I don't mean all women, or I would have said all women. Most women believe that that certain things they do to improve themselves are more attractive to men, where the reality is that men are quite indifferent to a lot of these things. So things like you having more money in your bank account, things like you being in a very high tier position in a career, men are quite indifferent toward it. It's not that we're against it. It's not that we're for it. In fact, a lot of the time, most high quality and high value men will be for it. All these men you see on YouTube saying, oh, I don't want an independent woman because they're hard to cut. Bullshit. All of them, they're bullshitting. They're not real alpha males. They're beta males pretending to be alpha males. A lot of the men that we have on YouTube today are alpha males, are beta males pretending to be alpha males. And the reality is, most men of high value, most real alpha males are going to be quite indifferent to a woman who's an alpha female. The alpha female will naturally submit to the alpha male. You don't need to have a beta female when you're an alpha male. That's just you trying to have that's you literally just having your woman. If all you want from your woman is to care for your children and to have sex with her, you're really just looking. You really don't need to go very far. Make enough money. You don't need to have any personality. You don't need anything. You can pay yourself into those things. But at that point, you've just got a whore as far as I'm concerned. If I cannot bounce ideas off my woman and fully believe that she's capable of giving me positive ideas as well. If my woman isn't smart, I want my woman to be smarter than me in some ways. I want to be able to. This is what it. When you're a real alpha male, you won't feel offended. You won't feel as if the woman is ahead of you at any point in time, even if she is smarter than you in one particular way. You'll be so confident within yourself that you'll understand that regardless of her being more emotionally intelligent than me, regardless of her being better at math than me, if you're a skinny guy, regardless of my woman being stronger than me, no matter if she's squatting 315, I can still probably bench more than her. Regardless if she lifts more weights than you, I can probably hit more push-ups than her. It don't matter. If you're confident within yourself, it don't matter what she's up to. You'll be calm. If you're a real alpha male, you can date an alpha female. You can date an independent woman and not be taken aback by it. If strong independent woman, if you are fearful of dating strong independent women, then you're literally just a bitch. As far as I'm concerned, you're not really an alpha male, you're a beta male. Now, this is not to say that men with the preference for women that don't have this, that doesn't necessarily make them beta per se. But what it does mean, it means that that's just their preference. But for the most part, most men that are saying that they don't want a strong independent woman, blah blah blah, most of them, it's only because they genuinely people like to emphasize and put a lot of emphasis on words. So if I was to say something like, you don't know how to handle a strong independent woman, a lot of men are going to be like, why do I need to handle a woman? Listen, it won't feel like you're doing anything. If you're a real alpha male, you won't feel like you're doing anything to handle her. You'll just be automatically handling it. She'll automatically be submitting and you'll automatically be handling it, just being who you are generally. A lot of these men who are real true alpha males date strong independent women and then will be like, no, my woman's well feminine. Yeah, she makes a good amount of money. Yeah, she does this. Yeah, she's active in the gym, etc, etc. But she's a feminine woman. She's feminine for you, my guy, because you're a real alpha male. But she ain't gonna be feminine for every guy out there. She won't be. Because she's a strong, independent woman. And if our man ain't pulling his weight, she'll tell him he ain't pulling his weight. Because she's not. Because he's not. But if you're... And you know what? So a lot of men ego... Like, this is not to be mistaken with the women that do have alpha males in their lives and do... Because what society and media has done these days, it's kind of made this idea that toxicity within the relationship is almost, it's not, and this can be brought from just trauma from your childhood as well. It's not just society that causes these things, but you could have seen your parents arguing your whole life growing up, and that just mean that you think now that that is just what love and relationships is. You can have conversations, you can have debates without anyone getting angry. No one's got, you can get emotional, but no one's got to get so angry to the point of physical interact in order to, no one needs to get physical, no one needs to start crying. You know, the nature of every relationship is going to be different anyways. We're all individuals. Every man is different, every woman is different, regardless of what society makes you think. Regardless of how society makes you think that all men are trash and all women are demons and just want their man for monies. That's just not true. It's not the reality of the situation. Of course, you can go onto the streets, and when you interview people, they're gonna say bullshit that they've read online and bullshit that they've been fed by society. But when you finally take these women into one-to-one conversations and speak to them one-to-one when the camera's off, you're gonna realize there's a big difference. And the reason y'all don't know this is because y'all don't actually talk to women yourselves. All you do is watch other men talk to women. It's basically you're watching porn. It's basically like watching the men have sex with women. When you watch men go out into the real life and talk to these women, ask them general questions, they're not gonna give their genuine answers a lot of the time. Even if you're not on camera, just having people around, they're gonna pander to what they think society is. You have to have one-to-one conversations with these women that you're going out on dates with, and then you'll find out who they really are in their core, who they really are within. We're 10 minutes into the video, so I need to start getting into the meat and potatoes of the situation. As someone, I've started to use that saying because of this YouTuber that I really like. But let's get into the meat and potatoes of the real situation now. I'm gonna really dig into my guys now, our men, because I'll be honest, I'm still on my way to getting to what I need to get to. You know, of course I hit the gym from time to time. Of course I read my books and stuff. Of course I do other things. I go to work, I go to uni, I do things as well. I'm not consistent. I fall off from time to time as well. It happens to everyone. I'm in my mid-20s. You know, I used to be addicted to porn. I still every now and then slip up and watch porn, but I can go months at a time now. I've taken the step. If you go through even like my old YouTube videos, you'll see the work I've tried to put in throughout even the past years, even though I haven't even been uploading consistently, because even that I've had to take a step back from in order to focus on real life things. But let me dig into my men now. And I said all of that just to let you guys know that I ain't perfect, but I'm just speaking from my own personal experience, and this is just my own personal opinion. Men these days take only the accountability that they're forced to take, and they try their best to discard and disregard every single other amount of accountability they can. So for example, a guy will call themselves a nice guy, and that's really a relative term, what a nice guy is. Listen, ladies, a guy calls himself a nice guy, it's a red flag. Most guys who are nice guys don't want to be seen as nice guys, because most real, genuine nice guys get the friend zone. That's just truth. And the reality is, it's not. That's a topic for another day. I'm not digging in on. I'm not going to get into a woman at this point in time. Let's get into the men. So a lot of these nice guys who think they're nice guys because they don't cheat, when in reality the reason they don't cheat is because they have a lack of options. So most of these nice guys what think they're nice guys, every now and then they do get themselves into a nice little relationship, you know, and they're actually on this bit of self-improvement, and they're putting in the work and the effort. But these nice guys, once they're in the relationship and the months go by and the years go by, they start lowering their defensives. Slowly they're not going to the gym as often. Slowly they're taking away times to meet up with the bros, to spend more time with their woman. They start switching up their lives ever so slightly, and soon enough the woman starts to realize that this isn't the guy that I got into a relationship with in the first place. This guy's completely different, you know, and then she becomes less attracted to you. Then she starts doing more manly things because you're not being as much of a man anymore. Then she starts giving you sex less. Then you start becoming more. Then the whole relationship basically starts pulling apart. You get me? And guys will be thinking to themselves now, oh, so because I'm doing more for the woman, she doesn't like me anymore. That's literally the definition of why women are trash and men are not. But no, it's not because you were doing more for the woman. It's because you were doing less for yourself, my friend. And when you're doing less for yourself, you become less of who you are. You become less of a man. And if you're less of a man, naturally your woman is going to become less attracted to you. So, those same men, when these women finally do cheat on them, break up with them, whatever the case is, their first instinct is to just say women are trash. They want to now become the bad guy, and they just want to just have sex around willy-nilly now, blah, 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 to inflate their own egos, whatever the case may be. And maybe that may be your healing process, and maybe you'll get over it at some point, whatever the case. It's no concern of mine what you do. But the reality is, these men put the entire blame on the woman at the end of the day. They take zero accountability for the things they did within the relationship. And obviously there's the side of the woman where she doesn't take accountability for many of the things as well. She probably had a lack of communication, of telling you that she didn't feel like you were the same person you were anymore. There was probably something she did. There are probably many things. There's always two sides to the story. And everyone's the hero in their own story. Do you get me? I'm telling you, while you're out there saying these women are trash, the women are out there saying the men are trash, and the reality is it's just that people are trash. It's not a man and it's not a woman thing. It's just that nowadays we do not have, we emphasize toxicity, and we lack proper natural communication. And then because of all of this, we don't actually understand each other. And then because we don't understand each other, the women think men don't care, they lack emotional intelligence, they don't know this. The men think the women don't care, they ain't logical, they don't try to speak their mind, they don't tell you what is actually happening, they speak in code and all kind of shit where you don't understand. And then everyone's upset, everyone thinks the other person's stupid. When the reality is, women just do not understand men, and men just do not understand women. That is just what it comes down to. We don't understand each other, and it's because we've lived on this screen. We've been living on a screen, and the screen has been feeding us with what it wants to feed us with. So we all have a different mentality of what the opposite sex should be like. All this pornography watching, all this social media where people only put out this side of themselves and you never see this side of them. All this TV, all these movies and series, it ships ideas of what a man should be and what a woman should be. And generally speaking, in these shows and series, the men pander to women. They drop everything they want to drop. If they've got, you know the movies. You've got a high school basketball game final, and then you remember that you were meant to go on a date with this woman, and you drop every bloody thing. And you sprint your ass down to the place, and it's raining, and you kiss her in the rain and blah blah blah. But guess what? Guess what? If you did that in real life, the amount of respect that woman would lose for you for disregarding your high school final just to see her for one day, the amount of respect, you might enjoy that one day, but when she thinks about it later, she's gonna be like, this guy, he don't have his priorities straight. And that is the reality of the situation. You know, I've been doing a lot of journaling recently. You know, and I've written down a few things I've learned from past relationships. And you know, I don't like to read things about my journal to people or even on screen. But I'm gonna read the two major points that I learned from probably my two longest relationships. Both of them were over a year, were over 18 months. Definitely over 14. One of them maybe did not get to 1.5 years. But definitely everything, all of them were over. One was a year and 4 months, and the other was like 2 years and 6 months. So both over a year. So I got to know these women. And the 2 points I've got is, the first point is, and this is going to be the last part of what I've got to say, because I could go for an hour about how men don't take accountability, and if I really get into women ain't go like me, and I'm going to be called a misogynist like Sneeko and Tate and Myron from Fresh and Fit and the rest of the lads. So I'm not going to get a dig on women right now, because to be fair to the women, they don't take accountability. How are they going to be taking accountability if the men don't take full accountability? If the men ain't being men, how can a woman be a woman? It's just that simple, my guy. It's just that if the men ain't being men, the women cannot allow themselves to be women. They have to be the men as well. And that is why we have so much strong independent women. As much as we don't want to accept it as men, stop being a bitch. It's our fault, bruv. Stop being a bitch. Accept it. And it doesn't mean it's your fault exactly as a guy. But it's probably one of your friends' fault. It's probably one of your best friends' fault. It's probably your dad, your uncle, you know someone. You know many. As men, and we like to defend men. Even when we know genuinely we may not do certain things. We like to defend our friends anyways because we wouldn't do it. So we know as a man, we've got a bit of moral fortitude to ourselves, and we don't do certain things. Maybe you're a guy who doesn't cheat, or maybe you're a guy who genuinely puts in the effort and tries to still stick to his things. Maybe it don't matter. At the end of the day, you know your guy friends be cheating. You know your guy friends be lying. You know your guy friends be taking the piss. But you still want to defend men. Do you actually like women, or is it men you like? You gotta start thinking about these things. But let's get into these last 2 points, because I'm hit the 20-minute mark now. And the first point is, don't change the important and foundational things about you. So in this self-improvement thing, you're going to be learning more about yourself, and the things you enjoy and the things you hate. You need to keep these things foundational throughout the relationship, regardless of anything. It don't matter how long the relationship, the important and the foundational things about yourself that you know about yourself, you need to keep them. And the woman who is attracted to you, if you keep these important foundational things, will stay attracted to you. It's that simple. It's that simple. The next point I've got is to be open-minded to constructive criticism. The last part of this point says, and this is more relating to me as an individual now, let it be known her words are heard and will be taken into account. That doesn't mean I'll be listening to her and pandering. That doesn't mean what she says goes. But what I used to do, I used to listen to my ex and do the opposite otherwise. And probably in her mind, it means I'm not listening or not taking any account. But I was listening and I was paying attention. I was heeding her words. But it was just a matter of, I need time to think about how if it's something separate from my beliefs and views, I've got to give it time to really settle in and think about it and make it my own view now. And then I can come back to her and be like, yo, I've thought about what you've said and I agree. And I think, yeah, I could do this a bit better or do that a bit better. And I'm going to try and start making it. And I'd like your help to hold me accountable. It's shit like that. Things like that will lift her confidence in you as a man. She'll say, oh, this guy, he came to me and said, and my problem in my last relationship was that I didn't let it be known that I was actually listening and paying attention. I just kind of listened, did my own thing anyways, because as it says in the point before this, keep the important and foundational thing. Don't change the important and foundational things about you. So even though I was taking in constructive criticism, I still would try my best to hold on to what I think is right. But as men, we need to be open to learning and knowledge. Just not as men, as people in general. And being open-minded to constructive criticism will take you a far way, even outside of relationships. But I'm not going to pander on anymore. Y'all can tell me what y'all think in the comments. Personally, I didn't get to say everything I wanted to, but if you do listen to this and you got to the end, I'd like to hear your thoughts on the matter. I'm down for a debate in the comments. I've got no qualms. But that's been Ras Lunacy, and that's been the vibe. That's just what's been on my mind today. So that's been the vibe. That's Ras Lunacy signing out.